Greetings, people of St. Michael's. Father Froehle here, actually coming to you from Buffalo, Minnesota. I'm attending this workshop this week on becoming a pastor, learning lots of great things. Today, like I mentioned in my last video, I wanted to share with you all a little bit more about what it means to engage the public sphere with our faith. And the best way that we can do that is to become people of conscience. In fact, that's a term that gets thrown around a lot, especially during an election season, is how our conscience really is our guide to engaging public life as faith-filled Christians. But our conscience is a very robust term, and I'd like to reflect a little bit about what it means to be a person of conscience and how we can develop our conscience in such a way that it can be a sure guide for us in engaging in the public sphere. St. John Henry Newman is a terrific saint to look into if you've never introduced yourselves to him before. And he really was a person of conscience. And in his writings and his reflections on conscience, he really comes to articulate this truth, that a person of conscience is one who allows truth to really form them, to allow truth to be the measure by which we bring ourselves to. And this means a couple of different things. It means that conscience cannot be just what I necessarily feel all the time. It's not just a mere sentiment about what might feel good or might feel right. It also means that we aren't swayed by prevailing opinions, by group consensus even, or bowing to various political and social powers. Conscience, because it's rooted in truth, is in a sense unchanging. But in order to have a conscience that's truly effective, we have to form it. And this isn't something that can be done in just a single hour or a day. It can't be done by simply reading one little booklet or watching one little video like this one. It's something that takes a very long time, and it's something that we've been engaging in our whole lives. All the various actions that we undertake, the various materials that we receive into our hearts, these are ways in which our conscience is formed. And as Catholics, there are a few ways that we want to root ourselves in the formation of our conscience. The first is to be rooted, I think, in prayer and the sacraments, to recognize that God, who is the source of all truth, wants to give us something, actually. And when we come to him in prayer, when we come to him in the sacraments, we ourselves are rooting our own hearts in the truth. And this begins to illuminate our heart and attunes the ears of our heart to be able to see where truth lies in other areas of our lives. And in association with this, one of the ways that we come to know truth more deeply is to steep ourselves in the riches of Scripture. This is where God reveals his word to us, that word of truth, which is so important for us to hear. And so by staying rooted in prayer, the sacraments, and the Scriptures, we will have our hearts formed in such a way that they will be on fire and desirous of that which is true. And we'll seek those things out. But in addition to that, the church is a really beautiful mother and a teacher. So there are so many documents on various aspects of life that the church has written on. And these are tremendous ways to have our consciences formed, especially if we look at the encyclicals from the Holy Fathers, especially Pope John Paul II, Pope Benedict, and Pope Francis. These are good ways to hear what the church has to say on so many topics and to allow ourselves to be formed by the teachings of the church. And then, and this is perhaps a neglected area in so many aspects today, we as Christians believe in the complementarity of faith and reason. And so we want to engage our reason well. We want to use it to understand the world around us, to come to a full understanding of the world and what it means to be human, and to use that reason as a way to illuminate truth in front of us. So brothers and sisters, just encourage you to allow your consciences to be formed, to steep yourselves in the eternal riches of the church, and to know that by allowing truth to form our hearts and allowing that truth to live loudly within us, we will have formed consciences that will help us to discern what areas of public life we need to speak into and what principles we have to apply to various circumstances. Please know my prayers for you in these coming days. Look forward to seeing you this weekend. God bless.